As you know, for 7 years now, the liberal media and the Democrats in Congress have been saying that any day now, Donald Trump will be arrested for countless imaginary things that they have accused him of doing that he's obviously innocent of. And we've always laughed at them and mocked them. But over the weekend, things got serious when Fox News reported this.
We are learning that the Manhattan DA's office has asked for a meeting with law enforcement ahead of a potential Trump indictment. This is coming to Fox News from a source in the courts. The meeting, which was requested yesterday and has not been set yet, is to discuss logistics for sometime next week.
Meaning this week.
Which would mean that they are anticipating an indictment next week. The same source who's familiar with the planning said they will go over security preparations in and around the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Secret Service will take the lead in what they will allow or will not allow. The source cautioned, mentioning, for instance, that the decision to handcuff the president, a former president, or not, they will set the tone and will escort him into the courtroom.
Donald Trump then posted on Truth Social that he believes he may be arrested this week as early as tomorrow. So in this video, I'll explain exactly what's going on and give my assessment of what I think the odds are of him actually getting arrested, or is this just more wishful thinking by the Democrats? It all stems from a confidentiality agreement that Donald Trump made with Stormy Daniels back in 2016, signing an NDA with her so that she wouldn't go blabbing her mouth about an alleged affair that she had with President Trump, which he denies and which she sued him, claiming that he was defaming her by denying that it actually happened. And she lost that case and now owes him almost $300,000 in legal fees. By the way, her lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who was the star of the liberal media for years, has been convicted of numerous counts of fraud and sentenced to 14 years in prison for stealing millions of dollars from his clients, including Stormy Daniels, and committing tax fraud. The Marxist media and the Democrats in Congress are claiming that that was supposedly a campaign contribution, which he paid out of his personal expenses, and should have claimed as a campaign expense because they say that it was designed to protect his campaign. Obviously, if he wasn't even running for president back in 2016 and she started making such allegations and it started making headlines, he most likely would have entered into an NDA with her anyway, because many celebrities and wealthy people have to deal with what are called nuisance lawsuits by lunatics and people trying to extort them by making such claims. And as counterintuitive as it seems, it's actually cheaper and less headaches for them to just pay them $100,000 to get them to shut up and go away. That way, the story doesn't get dragged on for 3 or 4 years in the courts, continuing to do more reputational damage to them. So no reasonable district attorney or grand jury would consider the payment to Stormy Daniels to be a campaign contribution, because it would have been made even if he wasn't running for president to get her to go away. Bill Clinton paid Paula Jones, who he had an affair with, $850,000, but that wasn't considered to be a violation of campaign finance laws. When Hillary Clinton's campaign violated campaign finance laws by funding the Steele dossier, which started the entire Russia hoax, concocting the conspiracy theory that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians, all they had to do was pay a fine. The Manhattan District Attorney, who is the head clown in charge of this kangaroo court persecuting President Trump, has downgraded half of all felony cases in his district to misdemeanors, which means the criminals go free. Not to mention they have no cash bail, I think, still in New York, which means that the criminals don't even have to pay any money to get out of jail after they commit serious crimes. They just sign a little piece of paper and they're set free. In New York, just like most liberal cities, have turned into complete hellholes, but he is wasting his time continuing to investigate President Trump. Remember how Fox News treated Newt Gingrich when he rang the alarm about all of these George Soros-funded district attorneys, which, of course, the Manhattan district attorney persecuting President Trump is?
Pro-criminal and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros' money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
George Soros, by the way, is literally the man funding the campaigns and getting all of these leftist judges and district attorneys elected across the country.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right.
See, now there the host is getting the word from the producers spoken into her earpiece. Wrap it up. Shut him up.
We're going to move on.
We're going to move on. Can't talk about that. Can't mention George Soros, the big billionaire puppet master destroying the United States. The reason, of course, is George Soros happens to be Jewish. And if you criticize somebody who happens to be Jewish, then you're labeled an anti-Semite. The thought police have also officially deemed cultural Marxism, which is the purposeful targeting of American culture, American institutions, the social fabric of society, the traditional family, Christianity, etc., American history, American symbols. They have also deemed that to be not just a conspiracy theory, but according to Wikipedia, it is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. So Donald Trump is obviously very upset. He apparently believes that he may be indicted, arrested as soon as tomorrow, sometime this week, posting on Truth Social over the weekend in all caps. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's actually 2 parts, but basically saying that America is a collapsing society, which obviously we are. Now, will he actually get indicted for this? I give it a 49% chance that he will, a 51% chance that he won't. It really could go either way. They may not, because obviously there's no crime there, but we are living in a collapsing society where political persecution and lawfare, legal warfare, using the legal system to persecute your enemies has been happening just like it does in third world countries, which we essentially are at this point. But they may not, because any normal, honest person, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat, not the Marxist Democrats, but like an old school Democrat, a blue-collar union Democrat, would see this as a line in the sand being crossed, and we would officially become a banana republic. Even if the Manhattan District Attorney is hell-bent on indicting, I think at this point, he may get a call from some higher-ups, from Merrick Garland, from Joe Biden's office, that an indictment of Donald Trump for an obvious non-crime would cause so much backlash that the Democrats would look like absolute tyrants. Let's not forget how the Mueller investigation turned out after years of investigating President Trump. It was a complete embarrassment. Not to mention, if the district attorney actually indicted President Trump for this imaginary crime, he would most likely be found innocent, or at the very least, it would be a hung jury. He wouldn't be able to get convicted. There would be one juror, at least, on the jury who would not convict. It would hang the jury. They would not prosecute the case again, even if they did. There's always going to be 1 or 2 people on the jury who will never convict because they're going to see the truth. And then that would just confirm that this was political persecution, further making the Democrats look like tyrants, abusing the legal system to try to destroy Donald Trump's life. Now, I could be wrong. People in power who get deluded from their power are often extremely arrogant and can't think clearly, and they don't understand the consequences of their actions. So the Manhattan DA may actually indict. It's time to buckle up, America. We're heading into another financial crisis. This country's completely collapsing, morally, intellectually, politically, and financially. Of course, there were a group of people who have been warning about this for many years. They were called conspiracy theorists, and as usual, it turns out that we were right. And so you may enjoy my new Conspiracy Theorists Were Right shirt. Order yours from my online store at markdice.com, or click the link in the description below. Like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.